Welcome back to our post-production diary for the Pendragon Cycle.
Perhaps you have the makings of a king after all.
We're just now putting the finishing touches on our epic series. How do we get through those final pieces of making a show? Color correction, mix, visual effects.
See how this was shot. This is what we're adding.
That's the kind of stuff we're going to be talking to you about over this post-production diary. It was important to us to capture as much in-camera as we could, but there were things that we knew we wouldn't be able to.
There's over 2,000 VFX shots, probably closer to 2,500. Every shot has to maintain the universe that's been created. Kevin Van Hook and his team are overseeing these VFX shots.
My name is Kevin Van Hook. I'm a filmmaker and visual effects artist. What I do is coordinate teams of artists. I have a small group of people that I've worked with for 25 years. One of our artists is in Romania. My coordinator meets with a group we have working with us out of Italy. I have people who do rotoscoping. That group is in Indonesia. It has quite a scope to it. Rotoscoping is where we're removing pieces that aren't needed, bits of gear and wire. This was a wire removal shot. So you see this cable going across, harness and cable that's flying through the air here. All that has to be taken out. We have a system where artists are uploading shots constantly. We have these 3 shots on episode 1, these 7 shots on episode 2, whatever it is.
We build the reviews for Kevin. We'll look in each folder for the morning, go through and say, who has shots in? We make sure that all the frames are rendered, everything was turned in. We have notes, they turn orange. It's constant communication and constant organization to keep everything flowing smoothly.
One place where we had to rely almost entirely on visual effects is for our big establishing shots of palaces or villages and cities. The problem is most of those locations don't exist. If we created it digitally, it's because we couldn't find something to point a camera at practically. You know, what does an Atlantean palace look like?
There's an all-CG establishing shot of Atlantis. We had a guy named Dan Catcher, very talented guy, and he put that together for us.
Come here, Rocky. Just come here. Just be on camera for 10 minutes, okay? Be a good girl. Here's Rocky. She helps me with all of my sculpting. She's my inspiration. Hey, I'm Dan Catcher. I do designing and modeling. Ultimately, what it came down to was doing a ton of research on cities, how they work, understanding like the anatomy of a city, let's say. At first, we had, something very simple, sort of Mediterranean looking. Yeah, and then we started getting into like more of these hilltop assets, but it really wasn't what they wanted. Getting the description of the books correct, that was the most important part. Eventually, what we did come up with was something that now looks like this, where we have the concentric circles, all these buildings. We have where the king lives right here in the center of this circular bound city. And out here we have the arena. Bill, one of our other guys, did the interior of the arena. Believe me when I tell you, a city is complicated, but a single arena is very complicated. Bill's busy, very busy with just that stuff.
I'm Bill Arance, dominantly a digital modeler. I'm doing the interior of the arena where the whole bull dance sequence takes place. They had a massive set that they built, but the set only went so far. They wanted to add more bleachers, more higher walls. It needed to have grandeur and scale. It's Atlantis.
This is a particularly long and interesting shot because of how much we're doing here. It's a journey to get to all of the added people and the added elements.
By the time all of the different talents get involved, and when you see it, the magic comes together. Just love doing what I do, the creating from nothing.
Of course, the most remarkable location in our series is Inasavalak. We shot in the Fisherman's Bastion in Budapest, Hungary.
It is beautiful. This place is unreal.
Now we needed to create a model of what that city would look like from afar.
Fisherman's Bastion, compared to even Inasavalak, is small. So I had to take all that stuff, expand it, make it bigger, take out all the modern stuff that was there and fill that in with ancient stuff.
That's what we're trying to create with our model of Venice Avalanche. The essence of everything that we actually see when we're shooting those shots, but also takes them to a place that doesn't just feel like Hungarian architecture, but something more exotic.
You can see this is what production shot on the day. And then we went in and added this river and took out the road and put our castle in.
It is fun to sort of reimagine the world as it used to be.
Making any project is incredibly difficult. When the story of Pendragon is written, the biggest battle that we faced was actually incredibly small, and it's Merlin's freaking eyes. Lawhead wrote in his book that Merlin has the eyes of a hawk, the eyes of a wolf. They're this golden yellow. Everyone who encounters him reacts to them, so it's not subtle. A thing like that is easy to write and almost impossible to get right on camera. When we were in pre-production, we thought we're gonna make Tom wear contact lenses. Tom put in the contacts and he couldn't wear them. And it was just shy of an allergic reaction. It couldn't have been more of like a divine intervention to our benefit.
There's over 2,600 shots in this series. It's a lot. And almost half of those contain Merlin's eyes being affected. We spend a lot of time locking down that look. Typically, anything we create is living in the same world as the production photography. And that way the colorist can just make an overall adjustment and everything goes along for the ride. But in some cases, he wants to just change the eyes, and we didn't change anything else. So we actually create a little black and white mat, or a mask, them so that when it gets to the colorist, when it gets to Mark, he can make whatever changes he needs to.
We've got the bulk of the color done, but we're here specifically to talk about Merlin's eyes.
At the beginning of the shot, they're too much like just brown eyes. When he looks up, they're too cartoon orange. When he comes back down, they're great.
Jeremy has a very specific idea of how he wants them to appear in each sequence.
Let's move those eyes away from brown and toward yellow a little bit. I think we were able in almost every shot of the film to subtly adapt the color to the moment. Yes, have it be the first thing that a character would notice, but always have him feel like a human, always draw you into Tom's performance.
Merlin Emrys has returned to the land of the living.
We're really getting close, and we're getting down to the wire of delivery.
In this case, I had a really clear vision of how I wanted the film to be colored, and that's to say, I wanted it to be colorful. We need to bring him out of that shot a little bit. He's fading into the milk of the haze. Let's start with bright.
Yeah, pretty badass. It's the fine-tuned tweaking, because it's 99% there, but the 1% to get it to 100 is just those little touches.
Might be able to vignette a little more and bring our eye to them.
Your eye's always going to want to move away from what's dark. It just naturally does that. And your eye will always find the brightest point. And so your eye will go where we want it to go when you add a little vignette. Tasteful vignette. A little here, a little there, does wonders. And that's where we're at, is that fine-tuned tweaking to where it's ready to ship.
50% of your experience watching a movie is sound. The mix is one of those things that happens very late in the process. Dallas has really spent more time on these episodes than anybody in post-production. He and the team would spend like a week on every episode going through on a soundstage, listening and listening and finessing and finessing.
In this, I just remember like getting close to the finish line, so this is a nice moment for us to get to see it all come together as a finished product.
I had the great job of coming in at the very end and spending one day on every episode and listening through it, making notes.
Ahoy, ahoy. Yo, yo.
Cookies.
Yes, just a half.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's just see if we can get that to pop a little bit or if we find a better take. I think we need that separation between the sound design and the score a little bit. How about that? You guys feel good about it? I think we should just add a slight groan. It's like bum, bum, and then it goes black again.
When producers and filmmakers come in the room, you're really focusing on the creative. It might work technically, but then how do we shape that based on storytelling or emotion or whatever, you know, the filmmakers are trying to achieve at that scene or that episode.
It's just Merlin, win me a kingdom. That should be more like Merlin, win me a kingdom. It's amazing how that last 10% of post-production starts to remove all the things that take you out of the experience of the show and allow you to become fully immersed in what's happening on the screen. It's been really something. Maybe what it needs is play it one more time. Let's listen. Well done.
Sweet.
That's some great work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Jeremy.
Okay.
Well, that's a final wrap on our production diaries and a final wrap on the Pendragon Cycle. The color is corrected, the VFX are complete, the score is mixed, the performances are unbelievable. The only thing left is to share with you the entire show, and we plan to do that in January of 2026. I want to thank those of you who've been watching these production diaries for the last couple of years. 2.5 years is a long time to work on a project. Our cast and crew has put in an unbelievable amount of labor. And it's been 20 years of dreams for me, dreams that have now all come true, in large part thanks to you, and thanks to the subscribers at Daily Wire Plus. We hope you enjoy the Pendragon Cycle.